Hi, ladies. Welcome back for another episode of my To the Core episode, my Friday episode of the Revitalized Womanhood podcast. How's it going? Thank you for being here with me. It is a gloomy day out there. My husband and my two older boys just got snowed in at our cabin for the last couple days. We kind of knew it was coming. So to prepare for it, I don't know if any of you have seen it. So if you go over to my Instagram account, that's pure.imperfection, you can see there's highlight bubbles that are called the Elevation 40 or Renovating Elevation 40, whatever it is. But basically, 2 Christmases ago, we finalized the purchase of this cabin that literally sits on top of a mountain. So the whole backdrop of it is basically, if you've ever gone to Zion National Park, it looks like that because basically I think those mountain ranges, the Canaan Mountains, I believe they are the south. I don't know if it's east or west. Where does the sun rise? Southwest mountain range. So it's like the back end of Zion. Anyway, it looks like Zion National Park. So the view is amazing, but we are on top of a literal mountain. And so it's kind of a joke. Anybody that knows us, anybody that's been there, it's kind of a joke. The hill that drives up to the cabin, it's like you are on the white roller coaster at Lagoon. Okay. Anybody in Utah knows what I'm talking about, but anybody else, it's like you're on a roller coaster and you're literally looking straight up at the sky while you're supposed to be driving up a mountain. And on the side of you is a cliff, is your death. Like if your wheel slips, if anything goes wrong, you die. It sounds dramatic because it is dramatic. I've had people, oh, hang on. No one's going to notice this other than my YouTube people, but this earring is making me crazy. I have had people come up there. My cousin made her husband stop the truck and let her get out of the truck before he came up the last road of it. So anyway, the point being, if we get any kind of moisture, a lot, especially snow, which in southern Utah we don't tend to get very much, so it's not a huge problem. However, what was it? A couple months ago, all of a sudden we got these flash floods, like one right after another, and it was like flash flood warnings all through the Hilldale. So it's out there by the Arizona border of Utah. So there was flash floods there. So after fixing our road, spending the entire year just fixing this road, trying to make it less scary for people because we want to eventually rent it out or use it for retreats or whatever we're doing. But so we've been fixing this road and it washed away all of it, all of the progress, created a whole new stream. The river, the flash flood came through and the river flooded out the road. So it absolutely washed out our whole road. And it was like 5 coverts. We have huge coverts down there. Is that what they're called? The drainage pipes, right? Coverts. So we have 5 huge ones. I mean, I guess it's called 5 pipes right there. People know that that's called 5 pipes because there's 5 of them and it's huge. They got plugged like quick as a whip. Those plugged right up. And so, of course, it washed out the entire road at the base of our mountain. So we couldn't even get up to our cabin for a little bit. But anyway, that was a long story to just say it had been raining. We'd been up there this weekend and it had been raining and we knew that the snow was coming. It was predicted that we were going to get 5 to 8 inches. So I was like, yeah, babe, I record this week. I gotta go. I can't do this. And if I thought going down this hill with snow was scary, mud, way scarier. I don't know. I've actually never driven it down in snow, so I imagine snow is very scary. Nope. Mud, way scarier. I had no control. It was terrifying. Luckily, I have kind of like a runaway truck ramp that comes out of it. So if there really ever was a problem, I could just like accelerate and go for it. Anyway, so we kind of expected that my boys would be snowed in. That's what the point of that was. So Rick actually drove his Jeep down to the bottom and parked it on the other side of said river in case the road washed out again so that they could slide down on their butts down the mountain to get down to the Jeep and come home if they needed to. But they enjoyed being cozy at the cabin. They were planning on watching the Rose Bowl and just having boy time and all that good stuff. So they are back. I don't know what the point of me telling you that was. It was just because it's a gloomy day, I guess. So it's been a gloomy day. It's been gloomy here in southern Utah. We're not used to it, and People are probably starting to get cabin fever from just the gloom of it. Everybody up in Seattle's like, shut up. Are you kidding me? I'm just kidding. I love it. I don't mind it. But hey, so while I have your attention, anybody that's looking at this on YouTube, and if you're not, go watch the YouTube. I just finished the very first Revitalized Womanhood planner. It's not just a planner. It is, look at this thing. I mean, I'm not trying to be like biblical, but man, that thing would wallop someone good just like the Bible would. It's a beast. It's a first draft. We'll call it that. It's a first draft, but I'm so proud of it. I'm so excited about it. My members are so excited about it. We are super over the moon to finally have it because we all know the drama that it took to get it. Anyway, I just wanted to show that here. I am not going to be putting it up on the Revitalized Womanhood website. I'm not going to be putting it up on the store, which the store is up. Please, please, please. I know you're all going to run there and look at this now. Please ignore the fact that I am the model for the merchandise right now. It's so, I hate it when my son says cringe, but it is very cringeworthy. I do not appreciate it. But I wanted to show the product. And also, this is one of the shirts. This is my t-shirt, the Revitalized Womanhood t-shirt. I cannot even get pictures of it yet because my printer accidentally put the peony on the wrong sleeve. Whoops. Oh, well, it's mine. I still love it. So, yeah, we'll get pictures up. We'll get better pictures up, not me modeling everything. Anyway, so this is the planner. This is what I want to push right now and I want to talk about, and you're going to be hearing me talk about it all year long because this is the tool, and sorry the glare from my light. This is going to be the tool that we are using and utilizing in the sisterhood for all of our living lives full of purpose and impact. What does that mean, right? Well, guess what? To do something like that, you need to have a vision. You need to have goals. You need to start having better habits, right? You need to be able to track your habits and track your goals and keep up with seeing how you're progressing. And I think we talk about that so much, but it's so important. It's not enough, right? So there's not just the calendar. Each month, I'll just go over this real quick. Each month there is a quote from me. One of my favorites in here. I mean, one that you know from Pure Imperfection is, where is it? I think it's May. The moments may be big or small, but they are all an adventure. That is like my motto from Pure Imperfection, and I live it and I love it. Anyway, so yes, there is. So we've got, here we go. I will do this better and not take up all this time on my podcast episode for this, but there is, so you've got your calendar page and some note pages in here. And oh my gosh, there's way too many pages. Next year, we're going to have to eliminate some pages. So we've got some weekly schedule pages, and then it goes into literally every day of the year. And that's why it's so thick. And we will probably be eliminating this and making it better. But every day of the year, there is a habit tracker page on here for you to be putting down your goals, what your goals and your objectives and your tasks are that day for your beliefs, your bonds, your body, your biz, right? We are working together in the sisterhood on color coding our emotions and being able to sit in those emotions and recognize them. So lots of good stuff, you guys. I'm so excited about it. All right. Anyway, moving on. I was supposed to record. So I'm sorry, not sorry, right? I was supposed to record with this cute mama. She is an RV mama, and she is doing mom life and homeschool life, and just, oh my gosh, her account is so beautiful, and she's just doing it to the beat of her own drum, and I love it. And I can't wait to share her story, but she got tons of snow. And since she is in an RV, their internet is hit and miss, and she didn't show up. So I'm assuming it's because she's gone dark and has no internet. So no worries. We will figure it out and get her on because I'm super excited to share her story. So anyway, All right, let's go ahead with what I want to talk about today. And I want to talk about today about, not about goals, because we are talking them to death, right? In December and into the 1st of January, we are talking goals to death, which is good. It's a good thing. You should be thinking in this way. However, what is the point of goals without a why? That's what I want to talk about. What is your why? If you have done my free 4 weeks to a fresh start, my email series, you can go to revitalizedwomanhood.com and it's on the homepage. It's just, literally the very first top banner of my homepage. And you click there and you subscribe to this free, again, email series. And it's basically a month-long email series that takes you through baby steps of how to make a vision for yourself, make a vision for the next 90 days and essentially in the rest of your life, right? Whatever. But baby steps you through setting goals, baby steps you through making tasks and objectives to go along with those goals, and how you can track them. And at 90 days, at actually 30 and 60 days and 90 days, but at 30 and 60 days, you're tracking it enough that you can say what is working for you, what isn't working for you. So anyway, the point is, what is your why? What is your why? If you are making all of these goals, you obviously have a reason in your mind. Is it so that you can retire early? Is it so that you can pay off debt? Is it so that you can stop having to go to work at all and become a stay-at-home mom and be home with your kiddos? Is it so that you can, along with being a stay-at-home mom, now you can homeschool your kids? What is it? What is your why? And your why needs to be very emotionally driven, because I don't know about you, but if I'm not personally, emotionally invested in something, I probably wouldn't keep doing it, right? Like, it's one of those things that's like, it's like the people that go to the gym for the first 2 weeks of every year and the gym is totally packed and then they kind of go away, right? It's because they don't have a strong why. The ones that stay have the staying power and have a very strong why. So think about it that way. Like, your why has to be so strong that it convinces you to go against every fiber of your being that's telling you to just be comfortable and be cozy and be complacent and be, live in where you've been living comfortably, right? No. To be able to go forward and push past that, you have to get uncomfortable, right? You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Just get ready for it, because that's where growth happens. And so that just circles back to, what is your why? So let me put it to you this way. And your why is obviously different than my why. Everybody's why is different. I'm not saying your why is bad and my why is good. I'm not saying one why is right and one why is wrong. No. You are you. You decide what is your why, and that's it. That's the end of the story. Period. Boom. Done, right? But I want to ask you this question. I want to pose it this way. What will you be investing in this year? Okay, that's a question that I want to bring up and let you sit in for a minute. So, what will you be investing in this year? What is your why? What's the use of goals without a why? So here's what you're going to do after this podcast. After you listen to this podcast. Just kidding. Later on today or this week, I challenge you. This is a challenge. I challenge you to go find somewhere that you can just be by yourself, in your car, in your home. Go to a coffee shop and put your headphones on. I don't care what it is. Nah, maybe not a coffee shop, because if you're like me, you will start crying. I did this up at our cabin. So I did this a couple days ago. I got cozy on my sofa looking out the window at the mountain, and I was really like manifesting that the bighorn sheep would come out. And of course they did as soon as I left. Rick called me and said they're out. But anyway, sat with my coffee and I sat cozy right there, and I flipped through my phone and I flipped through the last year and actually a little further back because I really went down the rabbit hole, but I want you to go sit somewhere by yourself, take 20, 30 minutes, sit by yourself and go scroll through your camera roll of 2022, right? Go as far back as you want. I don't care, but of 2022. And I want you to relive each moment. That's what memories are. That's what memories are for, right? So when I'm asking you what you're investing in this year, is it real estate? Is it stocks? Is it crypto? We all know it's not crypto because dang. But what is it? What are you investing in? For me, and what we have strived for since we lost everything in the recession, and actually is what we invested in long before that, because Rick and I used to go on trips and travel together before we even had kids, before we lost everything. So it is something that's very important to us. And so what we invest in is memories and time with our kids. And this is what is important to us. And if it is something that you're like, oh, but that's important to me too, but I can't do it. Well, that's what goals are for, right? That's what getting on track and setting goals and tasks and objectives. And now we get to this and that worked. And so let's keep doing it, or that didn't work. And let's figure out how to make it work, right? So for us, we did this, okay? It took 6 long, hard years, maybe more. It took a long time. This did not just happen overnight. This did not happen easily. This did not happen without fights. This did not happen without us probably wanting to end our marriage multiple times, having to pay off so much debt, having babies in the mix of it, especially a baby going to the NICU and then having to add that debt. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you go back and listen to the episode with Rick, we talk about this. It did not come easily. So for me to be able to talk about the things I'm about to talk about, it took work. It took breaking habits, bad habits. It took relearning good habits. It took a lot, okay? It took a lot of hard work. So when I say go sit in those memories, that's what they're for. Memories being made are the gift that keeps on giving, right? Because how much do you love it when Facebook pops up that memory, right? And it's a picture that you had posted 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. And it's just, and you're like, oh, I love that. Why do you love that? Facebook knows you love that, and that's why they're doing it, because it's amazing. It's a memory. It puts you back in the place. I talk about how food, smells, songs, these things put me back. Even wearing an outfit that I bought somewhere puts me back in that place, in that memory, and I get to relive it, and I get to feel it all over again, and I love it. So relive in each of these memories and squeeze all of the joy out of them, okay? I want you to just imagine you've got a chamois and you're just wringing it out, right? So each memory that you look at, I want you to squeeze every bit of joy out of that. And you won't ever be able to stop doing that. You'll be able to go back over and over and over for the rest of your life and relive in these memories, right? Because you're investing in something that cannot be taken away from you, right? Your memories cannot be taken away from you. The time spent with your family and friends cannot be taken away from you. So, I mean, again, just me, just saying, but this is what I did. This is what I did this weekend. So in my camera roll for the year of 2022, the moments that I got to relive in: a trip to Florida with my family, taking our kids to Universal Studios for the first time, and they got to ride, and finally my boys are big enough to ride roller coasters. They were so excited. Oh my gosh. Castle riding the Hulk over and over and over and over again. And Harry Potter for me, Harry Potter World for me. I am such a nerd, I know, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. We got the butterbeer, and we ate breakfast, and we got the weird ice cream flavors. I mean, we did it all. Rode the train, everything. Okay. I'm a big nerd and I love it. So deal with it. Anyway, we got to experience Florida with our kids, not only just Universal Studios, but then we went back. We went back for some reason. I don't even remember why. We went once and then we went back. Anyway, we went back Oh, I think it was just because it was on our way to Costa Rica, but we went back and we drove down clear to the bottom, clear down into Key West and got to hang out down there and see it all. And we got to go hang out in the Everglades. That was amazing. That was so fun. We made so many memories. Wow. I remember driving through, I tell one of my members because she's from the Naples area, and she was telling me about it the other day. And I said, I remember driving through Naples, and this is so specific to me because I remember thinking, whoa, this area is super nice, really nice area, you know, kind of reminded me of like a Scottsdale or something, like higher end and warm, you know. And then we go driving into the Everglades, and I thought, whoa, this is totally different. And Rick goes, and I was just thinking this to myself, you know, nothing to it, whatever. And Rick was on his own memory, you know, going on his own train of thinking. And he turned to me and he says, Gina, I think I found my people. And I about died laughing. And I was like, you sure did. I bet you did. I bet you feel right at home here. So anyway, we got to spend a lot of time. We got to swim with manatees and swim to where the hot spring was, where they were all coming in from the ocean to the hot spring. We got to swim with them. Locke got to swim with them. My 1-year-old was in a little teeny tiny little baby 1-year-old wetsuit. It was so cute. And we were all swimming with manatees. So that was amazing. And then from there, we got to go to Costa Rica, and we got to spend a long time in Costa Rica with Rick's parents and share and make memories and create unbelievable experiences for ourselves, for our kids. And from there, we got home and went on a 3-month road trip around the U.S. And it was unbelievable. We have road tripped around so many different countries now. I mean, New Zealand, Australia, multiple times, all of New Zealand, Europe, all over the place, the UK, you know, up into Scotland. And we have never done the US. We have never seen so many things. And it's so funny because in my bucket list, that some of the top places for me to visit are like Washington, D.C. Seriously, like that was one of my top places. Top 5 was Washington, D.C. and we'd never done it. So we took a 3-month road trip with our kids, packed them up in my little SUV, and man, it was fun. And we went around. You've probably heard us talking about it like on my Sean Villalobos episode or with Ryan, but we went around and met up with some of these guys that Rick had met from the community, from the Order of Man community, and being introduced to it. So it was really, really fun. We got back from that, and and on that, we got to make memories with Rick's parents came out and met up with us and got to see some things with us. And then later on, my parents actually drove up and met us at Mount Rushmore. So we got to spend time with them as well and hang out in Deadwood with them as well and go see the, oh my gosh, now I can't think of what that most famous, I can't think of it. It's always on all the back of the RVs. Is it the Devil's Tower? Is that what it's called? Anyway, it was really fun. So it was a really good time. And then we got back and we went to Alaska, and we not only got to spend time in Alaska with Rick's parents, but also with our good friends, Kelly and Matt, the Kelly from episode 3. We got to spend time with their family and take them and show them Alaska. And it was amazing. Rick and I were supposed to go on a cruise, and that got canceled, and that was drama. And here is a perfect example of when you tell God your plans, right? And I don't know if being a travel family, we understand these kinds of things better, or because, you know, you've experienced them more often, so you're kind of used to it. So you're like, oh man, you know, but we all know what drama it's been lately to fly and travel. And we've really honestly never felt that. I think I've probably only ever felt that once in our entire lives of traveling. I've probably only ever been really upset from something like that. And we got to Vegas, got on the airplane, and we were supposed to go on this cruise, just us, just me and Rick, my husband. It was so great. I was so excited to go to the Bahamas and spend this time with him. Had the babysitter all lined out for 10 days with our kids, had 2 different babysitters, right? Because one can't handle them for that long, so you have to get 2. And anyway, the airplane actually had mechanical problems, and they couldn't get us to Florida. Basically, that's what it came down to. They could not figure out how to get us to Florida in time to make our cruise. And I was devastated. And I'm still dealing with the drama of the travel insurance not paying out what they said they would. Drama. Anyway, but the point of that story that I want to make is, even though that was so upsetting for me, Rick really pulled it out of his hat and turned it into a really, really fun time. We had a really good time in Las Vegas. We went and saw a couple really good shows. We stayed at a really nice hotel, which we normally don't do. We usually stay at really like inexpensive hotels so that we can do more things, right? We're very budget conscious. And we stayed at a really nice hotel. We ate really good food. And then we even kept it going because my kids were up in Salt Lake by this time. And we had to drive up to Salt Lake to get them. So he surprised me with tickets to Josh Groban. Again, I know. He's my favorite, though. I love him. Rick has almost checked off every box of my dream, who I absolutely want to see in concert before I die. I've got one left. He's got one left. Anyway, so the point of it really was just, you can make these memories out of anything. If it's something that doesn't end up being the way that you expected it to be, that's okay. Go with it, roll with it, pivot. Look at it in a way like, man, okay, yeah, you can feel that. Believe me, I did. I sat there at the airport and I sat and I cried. I did. I cried. It was 1:00 in the morning, so it wasn't even that crowded, but there was people all around. It's the Las Vegas airport, it's always busy. And I sobbed. I was so devastated. I was so upset about that one. That's really interesting. I guess Rick and I had really been needing to get away because I was really, really upset about that one. I was really excited about it, but I sat in my feelings, let it all out. We slept on the floor of the airport because we were just so tired. We couldn't even muster up the strength to go to the hotel in Las Vegas, and slept on the floor, and we were fine, and we had a great time out of it. But anyway, so after that I guess this happened in Alaska, but I started a business. I started a new business. I never thought about it. I mean, I guess I thought about it, but I never actually really put it down on paper or dreamed about it or thought this would happen until maybe my kids were out of the house or whatever. I started a podcast. Hello, here I am. Hi guys. Still learning, still new, still loving it and learning. I mean, that's the huge highlighted bubble letters behind me. Still learning, but having a great time. We spent weekend up at a cabin in Paraguna. Anybody around here knows, a very small town, and had a family reunion with Rick's entire family. That was amazing. And got family pictures, which you can feel me on this. They're the family that gets family pictures. I think the last family picture with all of us, I mean, every single person, the last family picture we have with them, and my family's even worse, way worse. The last family picture we have with them is when Hayes was Locke's age. So it was, Hayes was probably 2. So 6 years ago. So side note for that, get pictures done whenever you can. Don't put it off. Don't let it be stressful. I mean, it's always stressful, but it doesn't need to be. Don't overthink it. The point is that you really just want to get a picture with all of those people, right? So that you can look back on them. Rick's grandpa that we love so dearly, when he passed away, his biggest fear was not being remembered. That's what haunted him, was that he wouldn't be able to see all of his grandkids and great-grandkids and family grow up, right? And that he wouldn't be remembered. And that's, take pictures, you guys. Take them. Who cares if you delete them later on, or if you take pictures, keep memories, because look what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to look inward at what your why is. What are you wanting to do for yourself this year? What are you wanting to do for your family this year? Where are you going to put the most emphasis? And I'm not expecting you to answer like me. I'm just giving you what my why is. I'm just telling you what the purpose of my life is. And it is to spend as much time with my family as I can. Rick says, do we want to not travel this year? We already pushed off traveling this last fall so that I could do the podcast and build the community, the sisterhood. And I said, no, I want to travel this year. I will do it. I will figure it out. It might be hacky. It might be a dumpster fire. I don't know. It might be amazing. It might be really fun for you guys to see me recording from wherever we are. It might be a whole bunch of things, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let what ifs and unknowns. I'm not going to let these things stop me, because my why is making those memories with my family. So just think about that when you're setting these goals. It has to be something that really drums up some emotion. And I think going back through your camera roll will give you that purpose, will give you that vibe. I was sitting there sobbing. I was looking at quick videos I had made and old memories, and I was crying, and I loved it. It was awesome to sit in those memories and squeeze every drop out of them again that I could possibly do, right? The one thing I want to say is, and maybe leave you with, I don't know if I need to go any further, but one thing I will leave you with is the thought of our life is where we take it, right? I've been talking a lot about choices lately and the paths that we take, and not falling into this victim mentality of, oh, I'm put upon because I'm a mother, or, oh, my life is hard because I'm at home with my kids, or because I have to work and be a mom, right? That's a horrible way of looking at your life, right? If you don't like something, do something else. I know it's easy to say, because I know it's not easy to do. I've done it. And so I just want you to realize that you're making a choice. You're making a choice to, first of all, have that attitude, right? Because choices, thoughts that come into our brain, we have the ability to change the narrative, right? We have the ability to, we can think whatever we want to think, right? We can control our thoughts. And I had a gal on our call say, sometimes I'm not that good at that. Sometimes I can't control my thoughts. And so a trick she said that she does is she puts on her gospel or church music, and that kind of soothes her mind. It puts her in a happy place. And that's wonderful. That's amazing. And yeah, I get that sometimes you can't control your thoughts, but you can start to train yourself. You can start making habits to, when you start feeling those thoughts coming, change the narrative, flip the narrative, start thinking something positive, or remind yourself of a memory that you love, or put yourself somewhere where you were happy again, right? Think in those kinds of terms. So first off, you can control the thoughts. You control your choices. They're not all easy. They're not. What is that saying? It's not worth having if you don't have to work hard for it, or something. You know what I'm saying. Things did not come easy for us. They didn't. They still don't. Rick and I still have fights. We still struggle over things that I know better, that I can literally get off one of my calls with my sisterhood and be like, oh, that was so good, blah, 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 and then go home and not do exactly what we were just talking about. And it turns into a fight, right? We're all human. We're all works in progress. We're all trying to do our best. But the point is, are you moving the needle, right? Are you surrounding yourself with people that will help you move forward to move the needle? Are you thinking and helping your mental wellness so that you're working towards moving the needle, right? It's just each day, are you trying to be this better version of yourself to move the needle towards whatever it is you will be investing in this year, right? So I will leave you with that. That could be maybe your mantra for the rest of the day or the rest of the week is, my life is where I take it. Thanks so much, ladies. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you spending time with me. I haven't asked you in a hot minute, but maybe would you please go and make sure you're subscribed to the podcast episodes. But I would love it if you would rate and review for me. That would be greatly appreciated. And if there's ever anything that you feel like you'd love to share or emphasize for someone that you know, please do so. Pass it along. Send my Instagram account to them and send it with the message of, listen to this. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, ladies. We'll see you next week.